I'm Werner Rollins Show, and you're listening to Whiskers of a Cloud, the story of cats and our connected lives. My guest, Werner Herzog, has spent the last 6 months working on his new documentary film, Neko Atsume, The Wrath of Tubbs. Werner Herzog, welcome back to Whiskers of a Cloud.
Thank you.
Now, Werner Herzog, why are you so drawn to Neko Atsume?
I was asked the same question many times by my crew and by an engineer who at the beginning tried to help me. And somehow, without thinking much, I said, because this is a great metaphor. And he asked, metaphor for what? And I said, I do not know. I do not know until this very day. However, I'm totally convinced it is a great metaphor, an image that is dormant within us. It's not the Walt Disney world view of wild nature, and it's not romantic. That's quite obvious. And you're all alone and you are exposed in the world. Has a strange attitude. The world somehow reveals itself to those who travel on foot. It's very hard to communicate it because nobody travels on foot nowadays.
Speaking of traveling on foot, the star of your documentary, Tubbs the cat, refused to walk at all. What was it like working with Tubbs?
Sure, he was the most difficult, the biggest pestilence on God's wide earth. But I could tolerate him as he was because I knew all this would disappear in the abyss of time very quickly. And what would remain would be an extraordinary performance on a screen. Both of us simultaneously plotted to murder each other. I mean, beautiful plots like great screenplays of detective and crime stories. We plotted. But in this case, I was unarmed. I didn't have a rifle in my hand.
During your time filming The Wrath of Tubbs, did you find yourself tempted by the game's microtransactions? Was the urge to buy new toys overwhelming for you?
You wouldn't do it. You see, sometimes there are projects out there that you do not solve with cash money. You do not move mountains with money. You move mountains with faith.
But what would you say to those who do find themselves spending entire paychecks, in some cases, on this cat game?
I think self-reliance. Everybody's complaining, the industry is so stupid. I do not get the money together, and so I say, roll up your sleeves. Work as a bouncer in a sex club, as a warden in a lunatic asylum, half a year. You earn $10,000, $20,000. There's no excuse anymore.
And now that you're in post-production, are you still playing Neko Atsume?
It hasn't stopped. There's some sort of a fire within, and it's always, I keep saying, it's like burglars in your kitchen in the middle of the night. You wake up at 3 a.m, something stirs, and there are 5 burglars. And the one who comes with the most vehemence at you, with an axe in his hand or a knife or a gun. So you have to deal with that one first.
Thank you, Werner Herzog.
You're very welcome.
Neko Atsume, The Wrath of Tubbs, will see a limited release this spring. Once again, thank you for joining us here at Whiskers of a Cloud, the story of cats and our connected lives. I'm Werner Rollins Show for NPR.
Whiskers of a Cloud is made possible by ZenCat, how to meditate with your feline, and Get 'em High all-organic catnip. Whiskers of Cloud is produced by Hortensia de Laurencia and Chevalier O'Doyle. It's directed by Carl. It's also not a real show, and this was not a real interview with Werner Herzog. Whiskers of a Cloud is made possible by listeners like you.